really fun to make. It's incredibly slow because I'm actually collecting data, but
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed the video on scouting. That was a fun one.
It was cool, and I was thinking maybe we could talk about scouting in a bit more detail in our first game today. Maybe use some fog of war, maybe decide, okay, ACCM or BacT, and sort of look at what they're doing and sort of analyze that a bit more. Could be interesting.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
All right, since it's topical, we can go ahead and do that. So let's jump into our first lower bracket game, which will be ACCM versus BacT on Socotra, which is a pretty weird map. But yeah, let's do it. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay. In three, two, one, play, and I will make it so that everybody else can see what's going on here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Escape Gaming Masters Regicide Edition. We are here in the lower bracket now, which means that this is an elimination match, a best of one between ACCM and BacT to see who will go home and who will go on. And oh goodness me, I'm immediately seeing ACCM gonna so close, nearly lose his scout. Killer Bee is joining me today. I'll let you take over, man.
All right, so those of you guys not familiar with the map, you'll notice that there are rocks surrounding the entire coastline, and there's no fish in the sea. That thing your grandma told you about plenty of fish in the sea, not true about this map. Both players will be taking stone right away. It's an extremely aggressive, extremely small map, and that hill in the middle looks like it's going to be absolutely pivotal. We will see BacT, the Vietnamese player in blue. We'll see a Vietnamese player, ACCM, in purple. These are the two best guys in Vietnam, and we'll see who can prove. We'll see who's better today, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll see who can build the most watchtowers. There goes my plan of maybe looking at how they're scouting. This map is way too small for that. Like, you leave your base, and 2 seconds later you've found your enemy. Doesn't matter which direction you go, you'll find them. So yeah, towers coming straight up, and they're in the Dark Age. Well, they're in the Dark Age. How are they able to build towers, you might wonder? Well, they start with a tower. And that means they can build towers. It's as simple as that, really. They don't start with a castle on this map. I think that might be a little bit too OP. Reminding people, of course, this is Regicide. That means they do start with a king, and that king has to go in a tower. But since the tower unlocks the tower tech, that doesn't even make sense, but that's how it works. They can build towers in the Dark Age, and that's why both players have immediately gone onto stone and immediately started towering up.
Yeah, ACCM is forward here, dropping towers nearer to BacT's base. BacT has not loomed yet. ACCM has. So ACCM has a little bit of an advantage if it comes down to a tower fight. You can see some of his villagers took some arrow fire, but none of them have died just yet, that I've seen anyway. Players did start with extra villagers, of course, due to the settings. And we will see about 20 villagers for each guy at the moment.
It's a mess. Who thought this was a good idea? I'm enjoying it. This is fun. But notice how neither player is really heavy on the food. Like, how many villagers does BacT have gathering food right now? One? He sent 4 to gather some zebra. And ACCM as well, with like 4 villagers on food. It's all about the stone. It's about the wood. Are they even going to have idle time, maybe? I don't know. Probably not idle time. But they're really cutting it fine. They're not really building their way towards the feudal age. They're trying to survive the Dark Age here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like ACCM's towers are pretty decent so far. He's creeping toward BacT's wood line. BacT Scout there is going to see this first tower, but BacT will have to react pretty quickly because he's going to lose that lumber camp in the north. ACCM seems to want to move to the right of the map. BacT moved initially to ACCM's left, but now BacT has kind of gone home, and he's kind of turtling up on a map that one wonders if you can have success turtling up.
I don't know. This map, it's so small. There's so little space between the players. I think it's a real competition for who can stake out the most land with the towers for the time being. And towers typically slow the pace of a game down. We've kind of touched on this already. Both players are grabbing so much stone, and they're grabbing wood to build these towers, that they're neglecting their food income a little bit, which is slowing their feudal time. Obviously, they do start with additional villagers, and obviously it's Regicide, so they get that Dark Age boost. But the feudal times are going to be affected regardless.
Yeah, it looks like BacT is circling now to the right with about 6 or 7 villagers. ACCM is going to the left with 4. Both guys are heavily on stone. BacT with plenty for a couple of towers. ACCM with plenty for a couple towers as well. So these two guys are going to continue to spam towers. One seems to be pushing on one side, one pushing on the other. We'll see who can get the job done. Oh, interestingly, BacT's king is like kind of locked in the corner, and ACCM's got a tower going up right next to it. BacT's
Oh,
king.
nice spot there. Interesting. I mean, BacT knows the tower's there. He knows it's going up. He's just, I think he's confident, yeah. He's confident he's going to get his defensive tower up in time. So he's going to grab that tower. He's going to be okay. The king, I mean, this is BacT we're talking about here. So, I mean, this king, watch closely. He could die at any second. Especially, he seems so careless with it. Like, oh, just sticking it out as a scout on the left side. Why not? And on the right side, I like that ACCM is building outposts around the map to get the vision. I think that's very important, and it's actually going to repel BacT's aggression on this east side there.
Yeah, BacT is kind of peacocking here. He's keeping his king right out on the front, and he's showing off that nice, beautiful Burmese king. For the moment, there is kind of some villager-on-villager action on the right. BacT tried to dive deep into the back of the map to hit ACCM, but ultimately the blue villagers are headed back, and not too much has happened. ACCM's got a really crazy, weird wall going on the side. He's trying to lame that extra stone and gold off to the left, but it looks pretty awkward over there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's, yeah, definitely trying to deny it from BacT. Maybe he can grab that later himself. I don't know if I'd call that laming necessarily. I think that's, because that's kind of like nobody's resources. It's whoever can lay claim to them first. But BacT has more villagers over here. He has more towers, so he will get another tower up and essentially deny ACCM's attempt at locking this down long term. But yeah, we are starting to see a bit more focus on food. Both players around the same amount of food here, 350-ish, as the elephants are brought in, the farms start to go up, and the towers have continued to be built. But there's only so much stone on the map as well, and this brings us to an interesting point. How important will that left side be once the first stone mines run out here?
Yeah, it's true. Those stone mines are running pretty low. Each player has about 400 stone left on their front stone. ACCM does control the center stone, and he does control BacT's front stone, you could call it. So I would say
Yeah.
ACCM has a much better access to stone for the rest of the match.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and obviously BacT can only make so many towers with the stone that's left in his initial, or his first stone mine, so he's got enough for now. I mean, he's got enough control for now as well, and with the towers on the left side, he's probably hoping to grab the gold and the stone on the left too. But yeah, I mean, it's such a messy game. It's really hard to say what's coming next. I can tell you that BacT has clicked up to the feudal age though, and he's done so a few moments ahead of ACCM, who is going to click up right about, well, after this villager, so in about 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, BacT is headed to gold with 4 vills, so keep an eye on that. That's interesting. ACCM seems to be sending villagers just to grab enough gold, probably for fletching, I would guess, but doesn't seem to be really committed. He hasn't built a mining camp on his gold pile that I'm seeing anyway. ACCM circling a couple villagers up to the right and trying to continue to put pressure on BacT. He'll be 25 seconds later than BacT up to feudal, but I like ACCM's position here. I think he's in good shape.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they're going to do next, though. I mean, feudal age doesn't really. It's not like when you advance from feudal to castle and you can start making some siege. You advance from the Dark Age to the feudal age, and you still have a big problem with the towers. There's no real way to avoid that. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see that the fletching tech is probably going to be the most important thing here. I totally agree with that, and I want to see the blacksmith coming up, the fletching coming in. That extra damage and range is certainly going to have a big impact.
Notably, ACCM will get another tower up in the back corner of BacT's economy, and that's going to be a really damaging tower, especially once fletching is in. It will hit BacT's gold and his wood line, and BacT's in trouble. It does seem like Mr. BacT is trying to get up to castle age to me. He's got 600 food in the bank and 200 gold. He can't take stone, so he needs siege if he's going to try to win this game.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think I think he'll be fairly comfortable with that castle age up. He's got a lot of farms. In comparison to ACCM, he's got 3 times as many farms, I'd say, and obviously enough stone for now to keep building defensive towers. And there you go, the blacksmith, the market for BacT, and ACCM with the blacksmith coming up immediately. I wonder if ACCM will be able to do enough damage here. Do you think that he will be able to kind of, I don't know, like deal a finishing blow to BacT in the feudal age? I don't see it happening myself.
It's a good question. Right now, BacT has one more tower up his sleeve on his main gold, which seems to be absolutely pivotal if BacT is going to have a chance in this one. Castle Age is on the way for the blue player. ACCM won't be able to get another tower up and pressure that gold. So BacT may have just done enough to keep this one within striking distance. ACCM will go fletching first. He's only got 200 food in the bank, so Castle Age is not going to be right around the corner for the purple player. But ACCM's position is quite good, but BacT certainly will have an opportunity to try to get back in it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Once he gets Castle and plops down a siege workshop, he's going to have the wood and the gold available to make enough rams or mangonels to take these towers down. So I think that's the better play by BacT, to be honest. I'd give him the edge there. I'm interested to know why he's not rushing down the tower at the back. I guess he doesn't feel any pressure to do so. But, you know, he could then have those 5 villagers working instead of idling in the tower. But still, I think that, you know, ACCM does have good map control. He does have more sort of zoning, I suppose. He's pushed BacT off of some important resources. But I don't think he'll be able to keep him off those resources for long enough. I think BacT will push out and start to take this one back into his control.
It's going to be an interesting one moving forward. If executed properly, I could see BacT pushing out. But it's going to be a little tricky. Is he going to go rams or mangonels, do you think?
I would like to see rams, I think, because I don't think it matters too much, to be honest. Obviously, I can't speak. Mangonels are a little more versatile if your opponent starts making some ranged units on top of it. But rams are a little cheaper and they get the job done. So either really works. I think maybe we'll see rams, though, to be honest. I don't think it really matters either way.
Castle Age just now arriving for BacT, and the upgrade just begins for ACCM. So as we stated before, there's going to be a little bit of a lapse here where ACCM's on the defensive. BacT's going to have a chance to get some siege out, one would think. I don't see a siege workshop yet, but I do see some villagers climbing up the hill. So maybe we'll see that soon.
He doesn't seem to be in a huge rush, does he? Also, he's going for a castle. Wow.
Okay.
I didn't see that coming. Also, I should point out that mangonels are better if your opponents walled their towers up, which ACCM hasn't done in a lot of these cases. So, anyway, the castle going up there. How many villages is BacT going to lose making his castle, I wonder? Like, he's put it between 2 towers, but he sent a lot of vills forward. But look, ACCM's bringing vills over to put him in the tower now. That's a ballsy castle.
Yeah, it's probably a necessary castle, I would guess. He's going to try to get that up as soon as he can. Of course, it's on 50% or so. ACCM with a couple villagers in the nearest tower, but not really enough to fully deny this. But he's certainly putting down some damage. No villagers dead yet, but certainly going to waste a lot of BacT's time getting that castle. Siege Workshop for BacT will come on the other side of the hill, and ACCM will be there to fight that.
The positioning of that Siege Workshop. What is he thinking? Does he seriously think he can put a Siege Workshop there? You can't do that, BacT. That's like... okay, but go ahead. Sorry.
ACCM, I think, clicked on the castle foundation, so the last couple of lobs of arrows were shooting at the castle, but it's not going to matter now. Castle is up, Arambai on the way, and Castle Age will be in for the purple player in just a moment.
Yep, and BacT is stepping on the gas with the Arambai now, and we all know how great these units are. They've been dominating the Wallow Kingdoms games recently. But BacT will get away with putting his Siege Workshop in the shadow of his castle, which is a much more sensible place to attempt to build it. And he'll start making a ram. So we've got Arambai and rams from BacT. A pretty low economy. Like he's at the limit across the board here, really. And ACCM now in the Castle Age as well, building a castle of his own on this left-hand side.
Yeah, ACCM here is going to be pushed by that initial ram a little. It is still within the castle arrow fire distance, but not for long. Tower from BacT on the far corner, the one that was annoying that gold pile, is getting basically rushed down, and a couple Arambai there for good measure to take a few villagers out as the purple player tries to get out of dodge.
Yeah, it's funny watching these Arambai chase the villagers down. It's like, miss, Miss, miss. But then when they do hit, they chunk like half the health. It's crazy. But yeah, a nice quick wall from BacT on this right side will actually block those villagers in. He'll secure himself 2 kills, maybe 3 or 4 if he heads these ones off. And that's actually going to put BacT ahead in villager count. They were neck and neck up until that point. So good play by BacT right there. ACCM does get his castle on the left side. What do you think to the castle positioning of ACCM?
I think it's necessary. He had to get it somewhere on top of that hill. The right side, I think, is not quite as useful. Needs to be able to defend his base the best he can. It's decent. It's not great. ACCM will rush down a ram, but lose 2 villagers in the process. So at the moment, we have 39 vills for ACCM, 46 for BacT. So BacT's starting to pull away. And he just, like you said, put his foot on the gas in the castle age and took this one over.
Oh, I love the Arab. They're disgusting. They really are. I mean, he's got 4 of them. He's just running around, just sniping vills. It's funny. But obviously, ACCM can now respond in kind. He is also adding his own Aaron by in. He's a little outnumbered. And BacT does have the +1 defense, but that doesn't really make a huge difference all in all. It's the numbers that matter. It's a numbers game here. ACCM kind of losing grasp on this one a little bit. Like you say, falling behind in vills. Did lose a lot of the front of his base there to that castle. And his own castle placement, it's necessary to put it there, but it's perhaps not the most ideal place either. The right side of his base is still very exposed now, and BacT is still threatening him on this hill.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting that BacT can take more stone if he wants to. He does have a safe stone in the middle of the map. ACCM has lost his extra stone on the front. So for now, if this does turn into a full-on Erembi fight, the second castle will probably be up for BacT first. But for the moment, these guys will square off and see who can do more damage. ACCM set back by some early Castle Age defense, and early Castle Age raiding seems to be 8 villagers behind. He's going to need to pull something out of his sleeve here. This is a rough position for him.
Yeah, it's starting to get pretty dire. He did run in there and snipe out that mangonel, which is a good trade for ACCM. I think he only lost 1 Erembi in the process, so that's good. And I think, you know, it's a good move by BacT to make some siege, try and pressure this eco here. But the Erembi are so good at sniping siege as well, because they just burn straight through the pierce armor of the mangonel. I don't know. I don't want to do the math right now on stream. It's going to embarrass me. I'm going to embarrass myself. The mangonel has 6 pierce armor, right? Now, for a crossbowman or most Castle Age ranged units, that's a problem. They can't get through that. They only do 1 damage per shot. The Erembi has 18 damage, so they do 14 damage per arrow, which means that they can kill these mangonels extremely fast in just 4 hits.
No math on stream, but yes, absolutely. Erembi, it worked. Erembi melt mangonels. I think that's totally true. That equation is balanced. I saw ACCM trying to do a little raiding on the left side, but BacT's network of towers pushed him away. ACCM with a similar sized army to BacT at the moment.
Oh, I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. For some reason, I accounted for 4 pierce armor. They actually do 12 damage. My bad. I knew I'd make a mistake. Like, I can obviously do 18 minus 6. It's just streaming, like, messes that up. Quick maths. Let's go. Anyway, sorry for interrupting you there.
No, in the middle of all of this, a couple good mangonel shots from BacT. He's launching an attack from that hill with 3 mangonels. He's got a ram, and he's got enough Erembi. ACCM tried to push him back a little bit. He could not get through the pierce armor of those mangonels, probably due to some poor math, I suppose. The TC, though, for ACCM is going down, and this one is coming to a close.
Yeah, the BacT is in a very, very strong position here. There's the TC gone. The 3 mangonels there, unstoppable. And obviously, the reason for that is because BacT is outnumbering ACCM in Erembi, which means if ACCM tries to snipe the mangonels, he loses all of his Erembi to BacT's Erembi. It's a slippery slope for ACCM now. Without a town center, he's going to really fall behind in villager count, as it can only go down from here.
Yeah, unfortunately, ACCM with 200 wood in the bank, but only 50 stone. So he needs to get more wood, needs to get a bit more stone. I don't see a market for the purple player. Let me look around. So he is going to have a lot of trouble with that stone variable.
Nice, yeah, nice micro from ACCM here, actually. He did get both the mangonels. He's you know, swaying his units back and forth, but he will ultimately have to retreat once again. A pretty good good trade for ACCM, but overall, all in all, 31 kills to 20 deaths. You were saying about the market, I also didn't see one either, so yeah, ACCM, even if he wants to get a second, or his TC back up, he really has no means to do so right now.
Yeah, absolutely. ACCM's going to fight it to the bitter end, but the writing is on the wall, and I don't know. This one is just about ready for the fat lady to start singing. ACCM will come up short here today, but I guess he'll live to fight another day and another tournament, I suppose. Grabbing some rams, microing well, still has an army, but 39 villagers for ACCM, 55 for BacT, and no town center for the purple player.
Yeah, it's really snowballing now, and this is a similar situation to his first game in the tournament as well. It started snowballing out of control, and that is the nature of this game. When you fall behind in villages like this, it doesn't matter even if you're making better trades with your military, your opponent will still outproduce you, and they'll still will come out on top, I should say. So ACCM slowly being whittled away, but it is an elimination match, so he doesn't want to throw down the gauntlet just yet. But it is looking a little bit close, and obviously BacT now with the monks as well, looking to even get some cheeky conversions in there as on top of everything else.
Yeah, BacT for now pushing down the last couple towers that are protecting vital parts of the purple the eco. That tower is going to go down up on the east, and then the wood line will be next. 2 mangonels there with a couple ACCM alongside them. ACCM's army is still quite strong. The numbers are the same as BacT, but of course his positioning is in a rough place. BacT's second town center coming up now on top of the hill.
Yeah, same army count surprises me, to be honest with you. Obviously, there's the threat of the monks here, but obviously ACCM does also have enough ACCM that the fact that they're going to miss doesn't matter so much, because they will be able to snipe the monks quickly. But still, getting 2 conversions there, BacT will come out on top once again, and that seems to be the theme of this game, BacT coming out on top time and time again. And ACCM... what should he try and do here? I mean, if he sends his ACCM around the back to try and raid, I don't think he'd be able to find much, because BacT's eco is so well defended anyway. And other than that, all he can look to do is try and take a favorable engagement, which is getting harder as the game goes on.
Yeah, BacT at this point has a network of towers on the left that all kind of cross-protect one another. ACCM is trying to push on that side with a mangonel and crack the nut from the left side there. BacT's town center, his castle, and his other towers are, like you said, defending his economy really nicely. ACCM's only real chance is to, well, get up a TC if he could, which he can't. I believe his market already got knocked down. Or take down BacT's TC, which I don't think he can do either. But ACCM's holding on, and maybe we'll see something crazy happen.
Yeah, BacT actually has 2 TCs now as well, so he has an insurance policy at this point in the game. ACCM, I think what he's planning is, okay, just keep my ACCM alive, mass as many as I can, and then try and just take a game-winning fight, in a sense. Like, just wipe out my entire opponent's army, and then I can think about what to do after that. Until that point, I don't think there's any point in him building a second TC. He would just lose it anyway, because he doesn't have the means to defend it.
Yeah, I see about 15 villagers for the purple player headed to the left toward his castle. I don't know if he's going to go try to take some stone, get more towers, or a TC up. BacT will get a 3rd town center down right on top of the hill as well. BacT's got all of the hill positioning except for that far left side, which ACCM is still clinging to. ACCM's vills there are going to do something soon, but they've been just kind of chilling for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, I should
say.
I was just watching the fight on the right-hand side. ACCM trying to push up the hill. Well, he got 1 mangonel, and he lost his mangonel, but this is something interesting. There was a topic recently, a discussion about how if you delete your mangonel, when it fires uphill, it will do full damage. And so this was a perfect example of where that would have been a useful thing for ACCM to do. If he'd have deleted his mangonel, he would have killed the mangonel of BacT on the hill. But I just wanted to bring attention to that, because I saw a lot of people asking, well, where would that be ever useful? That would actually be a situation where that could be used. But yeah, it's an incredibly I don't know, difficult thing to think of or pull off in the moment, I guess. Anyway, BacT here really just closing this one out, I think. Maybe he's going for the king. Wait, hold on. Is that the king in that tower? No, it's not. Okay. Where is the king from BacT? I thought he might have gone for the king, and if BacT had left it in a tower, that could have been just catastrophic ending for BacT right there.
Yeah, it's a really good point. The tower in the back corner where the gold was is where the king is currently. BacT able to clean up those Erembai on his way over with monks. We will see ACCM try to cling on to that last bit of hope that he has on that side. Needs to keep that gold and stone and wood line. It's really the only economy that he has that's safe at this point in the game.
Right now, ACCM is beat, and I think he probably needs to realize that soon, because I don't know. I feel like this. What is his goal now? I mean, he just lost his whole army. He doesn't have a town center anymore. He's three TCs versus 0. Maybe he's hoping to try and get that king snipe somewhere, but he doesn't know where the king of BacT is, and so I'm not really sure what he's gonna do or what he's thinking that he can do in the next minutes that would actually give him any chance of a win condition.
Yeah, the king snipe would have been brilliant. It could have worked, but like you said, now that the army is dead, what's the plan? He's going to need at least, I would say, 10 Erembai to realistically run in and try to snipe the king out of a tower. But, you know, there's just so many buildings in between the towers and, or rather, in between BacT's king and ACCM's army.
Yeah, you know, we could put it like this. BacT has infinitely more town centers than ACCM right now.
Absolutely.
It's quite a predicament for ACCM, to be honest with you. He is actually still clinging on to the fact that he has got all of the stone and gold on the left side. Maybe we'll see another TC eventually, but this map does have a very large shortage of wood, which means that ACCM would probably be wasting his wood building a TC, and it's best to keep it for the Erembai, really.
It's an interesting situation. I mean, it is still possible to snipe the king. He's going to rebuild that army. At the moment, there's 9 Erembai, 10 of them now out on the map. Yeah, I don't know what exactly the right number is, but he's pretty desperate at this point, so why not dive in one last time with these Erembai and see if he can get BacT's king. If ACCM knew what we know, that back tower is not really that defended. If he were to run straight there, he could actually get BacT's king, and he could actually win this game. That is, if the king is still there, and he is.
Yeah, I'm just laughing. The chat, I love saying things that make the chat react in certain ways. It's always an amusement. But anyway, back to here. He has. I mean, I feel like that is the only way ACCM can win, right? And he knows that. The tower at the back, it is exposed. ACCM could try and go for it, but does he really? Does he have an idea where it could be? I mean, it could be any of these towers. It's all unexplored right now. You know, and there's nothing stopping BacT putting the king in the castle, and then really has no chance.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say it might actually be a bit of a misplay from BacT not having his king inside the castle right now, but it's so incredibly unlikely that he'll get punished. BacT's entire army is now inside of his own eco, just waiting for that last push of Erembai. And like you said, he doesn't need a great fight. He just needs a fight. He just needs to pin down ACCM's army because, you know, 76 villagers for BacT. If he throws away an army and even just kills a few of his opponent's Erembai, it's still a win for him.
Yeah, precisely. And right now, ACCM, he's trying to do something with his Erembai. He'll just get himself, well, converted. And I don't know. I really maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. We're putting so much focus on ACCM. Maybe we should say, okay, maybe it's BacT who should be making the move here to finish this game out. Why has BacT not been able to finish this yet? He's currently doing Bloodlines, so a bit of extra health on his Erembai is certainly going to help. But yeah, this is the thing. Like the towers, the castle, it really slows the game down. And BacT in the Castle Age doesn't really have an easy way to clean all that out. Maybe BacT will go Imp and then clean it up, but I don't know. I feel like BacT's probably in a position where he feels no pressure at all to rush this.
Yeah, BacT at the moment has 1k stone. He can drop another castle and continue Erembai production. He's got a couple of relics. Second relic is on the way in right now. ACCM has 0. ACCM tried to drop a cheeky castle on top of the hill, but BacT is going to go for it, and this could be the game-winning moment. ACCM has to run in and fight this. He can't lose this part of his economy.
Absolutely, and he's losing it. A lot of his villagers on the left side going down to the Arambai there. ACCM's going to try and deny the castle with the Arambai on the right. Obviously, there's a lot of... Oh, yeah, that's some nice mangonel shots right there from BacT, getting a good group of Arambai close together. And BacT here will attempt to rush that castle up. He's taken out most of ACCM's army, and I don't think ACCM can stop this now. It's too late. He is going to try and micro those Arambai, but 81% on that castle, and the Arambai have to retreat. That looks like a done deal to me, as BacT now is close to doubling ACCM's score and tripling his villager count. That's quite amusing.
Yeah, BacT clicking Imp. ACCM still not ready to throw in the towel, but maybe when the Imperial upgrade comes in.
What is he thinking?
He's got 22 villagers, and he wants to get in and snipe the king, of course, but he has 7 army on the map. And yeah, I mean, the villager number just continues to drop. His ability to take gold continues to go down. I don't think there's any gold left for ACCM to take safely.
Yeah. I am interested to see... I don't even know anymore. Like, where is he going with these villagers? Going for the woodline, maybe? Oh, it's a castle from ACCM. Okay. ACCM's going to put another castle down on the right side. Oh, no, he's not. He's lost it.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Did BacT hit that castle once with his ram?
I think he did.
He did. I was switching player perspective, and it moved my camera over here. And then, yeah.
ACCM has 200 stone in the bank, so I think he did lose that castle. Just
no.
nothing went right in the castle age for ACCM, and despite having a lead, he ends up getting eliminated, I suppose.
Yeah, I just want to actually point something out, because a lot of people question why I move the camera away from things sometimes. The reason for that is because when you switch between player views, look at this, it moves the camera to where the camera last was. So if I switch between player perspectives, it moves my camera away. And that's part of the reason why sometimes the camera just randomly jumps away. It's because I'm changing player perspective, and then I have to move the camera back. I just wanted to give some insight into that, because that's something that does happen a lot, especially if it's in the middle of a fight and we want to compare two things, or like populations or something. I'll switch and it'll be like, oh crap, the camera's suddenly disappeared. But anyway, well played to BacT. I think we saw the writing on the wall there for a long while. Obviously, ACCM put up a hard fight. He really hung in there until the last minute. But yeah, we saw the ultimate demise of ACCM for some time.
Yeah, I think I maybe sold him short, because he did snipe a few towers, and BacT was, I wouldn't say careless, but risky enough to put his king in a tower. So it could have happened for ACCM, but in the end, BacT controlling that one from the castle age onward, and BacT will grab the win, and I suppose we'll move on to another elimination match next. Is that true?
Yep, we'll look at the next one in just a sec. I just wanted to look at the KDs. ACCM with 91 units lost, 63 killed, and 31 buildings lost. BacT with more resources really across the board, apart from the stone. And BacT with the most researchers, most exploration, most fastest to the next age, most relics, most relic gold, most villagers. It was a... Oh, wow. That timeline says it all, really. I think that's the point where ACCM lost his TC, and then it just started going more and more into BacT's favor.
Yeah, absolutely. BacT showing that at least today, at least on these settings, he's the best player in Vietnam, I suppose, and keeps his hopes alive to try to win this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. He is... Oh, I put the... The point went on to ACCM. There we go. It's supposed to say BacT 1-0. If we look at the bracket now, we can see that BacT will progress into the round of into round 2 even. And then our next match will be Cloud versus Jordan 23. We did see Jordan 23 drop down to the lower bracket after losing to MBL in the first round. And his match versus Cloud will be coming up next. As you say, another elimination match, and that is again gonna be on Socotra. So, yeah, we're gonna do another one, another one of those. So we'll be back in 2 minutes. give us just a moment here, and we will return after this short break.